Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. I'm doing a rear differential, fluid drop, and cleaning and then refilling on a 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 with the 3.0 turbo diesel, the Duramax mini diesel. Okay, so there's two differentials that are on these trucks, but they both take the same exact gasket. And let me stop the video and I'll find the names of the two differentials. Okay, before I go back under the truck, so the two rear differentials are the G80 and the SU7. They're slightly different. They're made by different, I believe one is made by GM directly and the other one's made by a manufacturer for GM. But this gasket is a Felpro 55498. 55498. This is the gasket that fits both of them. Now this is just for the 3.0 diesel. The 5.3, it says here that it fits the 5.3 and the 6.2, but the parts department at GM said that there are other rear differentials for those vehicles, depending, like if it's an AT4 instead of a Denali, instead of an SLT, instead of an Elevation. There's different trim levels and there's different different drivetrains in these vehicles. So, but this is for the 3.0 Duramax four-wheel drive. It's a four-wheel drive, 55498 Felpro, and it fits the G80 or the SU7. If you don't know what you have in there, you can call up your dealership, the parts department, give them your VIN number, and they'll get. I think they need the last 8 of your VIN number, and they can tell you what rear differential you have in it. All right. So this is the parts, the gasket I'm going to use. You have to take the pan off, the cover rather, and you have to drop all the fluid, and then you have to reseal. I don't know why they do it this way. There's no drain plug. There's only a fill plug. There's no drain plug in the bottom of the differential. Just a fill plug in the side. And then the fluid we're using 75 weight 90, full synthetic, 75 weight 90, and you need 2.5 quarts. So get three of these bottles, and get them like this. Don't get them in the hard bottles, the plastic bottles. Get them like this so you can squeeze the gear oil into your differential through a like some kind of rubber line. You can get I like to use rubber line like this. You just put that on. You put that on the top of the cap and just squeeze it in there. So 2.5. You need 2.5. You're going to put 2 of these in, and then you're going to have to measure out half a quart for the half. And then what I would do is I would pour one of these out, measure it in a measuring cup, and then pour it back in to one of the empty ones you have, and that's going to be your half. You can also just fill to, supposedly you're supposed to go, you put your finger inside the fill hole, and it's supposed to be one knuckle depth down. The fluid's supposed to be down from the fill hole. You don't go like the old engines. You'd go, or rather the old differentials. You go till the fluid starts weeping out of the fill hole, and then you stop. This supposedly you're going to be one knuckle length down. All right. So I'm going to get under there. It's a 13 millimeter. They're all 13 millimeter bolts. You're going to need. It's pretty tight fit in there. Let me stop the video. I'll show you. Okay, like I was saying, because of the rear tire, it's a real tight fit to get in here. There's 12 nuts, or 12 bolts rather, holding on your cover, your rear differential cover. So if you don't have one of these, I would suggest you getting getting one of these, because you're not going to be able to get up in the top here with a regular ratchet and socket. And these are put on blue Loctite. You have to put them back in with blue Loctite. So they have blue Loctite right now. So they're going to be a bitch to break initially. This guy will break them easily. You just put it on there. Come on. Of course, now it doesn't want to do it. Come on, get it. There we go. Yeah, it breaks it easy. So, all right, I'm going to take them off. Leave two of the top ones. Leave them on, loosen them, but leave them on so that the whole cover doesn't fall down on you, and just take them all off. Put a bucket under here, start down here, take these all out, the bottom ones. Have a bucket down here to catch the coolant, or the gear oil, and leave two just loose till you drain everything. And then take those off, take the whole cover off. You're gonna have to clean the surfaces and clean out your ring gear and everything, and then put it back in with the new gasket, blue Loctite, all of these. And I believe it's, I'm going to find the torque, but I believe it's 25 to 30 foot-pounds on these. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got 11 of the bolts out. And as you can see, the pan is loose. I didn't have to break it at all. It just came loose, which I thought was interesting. So I've got one left in there. As you can see, is all the way, yeah, right there in the back, just holding it up. It's already fully drained. The fluid doesn't look terrible. It's got 34,000 miles on it. You're supposed to change it every 30. So, sorry about the phone slipping around in my hands. What else? I wasn't able to get to the top two with this tool. And I couldn't break it with a normal 3/8. So what I did, and you can't get a 1/2 inch in there, it's just too close. You need a very short socket, and the reason I couldn't get this in there is because this is too long together. The spare tire, that bracket that goes around that protects the tire, was in the way. I just could not get in there. So what I used was a torque wrench, a 3/8 torque wrench. I have enough leverage with the long handle to break the last two, because as you can see, there's Loctite on them all. So I'm gonna use blue Loctite. This looks like a type. I don't know if it's similar to the strength of blue. It's reddish, and I know red, when you put it on, that's kind of permanent. So I don't know if this is just a GM proprietary Loctite and it's just colored red, but I'm using blue Loctite when I put it back up there. Okay, so it's fully drained. I'm just going to take out that last bolt. I'm going to drop the pan, or drop the cover. I'm going to clean the cover. I'm going to clean inside. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside before I put it back together again. And I'm also going to take a look at this gasket to see if, you might not need to buy a new gasket. If you have a new truck, if you have a truck with 100,000 miles on, I would say get a new gasket. But depending on what this gasket looks like, I have a new one, so I'm going to put it on. But if you don't feel like buying one, you might be able to reuse it. So we'll see when I get it off. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I cleaned it up. The pan is in very good shape. It had minimal amount of debris and metal shavings, very little metal shavings around them. Make sure you clean your magnet. But this magnet had very little shavings. As you can see, the things I clean with, they're not a lot of shavings at all. This is the original gasket. It's still in fantastic shape. You could reuse it. I'm just going to use the new one I got, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this as a backup because this is an original GM. The one I have is a Felpro. So a little word. So the gasket fits on like this. It has this notch. So this notch, the pan is going to go on like this on the rear. So the notch is on the bottom. Okay, the notch is on the bottom. So just make sure you clean your pan good like this. It's going to be full of oil and it's going to have little metal shavings in it. Just clean it all good. I sprayed down the differential itself. The surfaces, I cleaned them because there was a bunch of, once I took it off, there was a bunch of debris, like dirt and stuff on the gasket. And they kind of, once the gasket came off, they kind of stuck to the differential, the mating surface. So I cleaned that with brake clean. Oh, the other quick thing, let me put this aside. The fill plug is just a 3/8. You just take a 3/8 socket, not a socket, but a 3/8 driver, and that's how you get it off, all right? This is, you don't need to use anything else in there. This is for a 3/8. So you just, I broke it loose so that when I put it on, I can get to it easy and just take it off by hand. But I'm going to go put everything back together again. Oh, let me show you underneath, and I'll show you how clean it is. I'm pretty impressed for 34,000 miles. I thought the oil would be a little dirtier, and I thought the ring gear and everything would be a little dirtier. But look, so I cleaned these surfaces. These had a little bit, as you can see, there's a little bit of rust. There was a little bit of debris. You can still see some of it up there, but I sprayed that down, and then some of it fell onto the ring gear and the differential. So I sprayed that with brake clean, and I wouldn't worry about it. You're going to put fresh gear oil in here, and you know, after you drive 20-30 feet, everything's going to be covered because it's going to be spinning. So that's it. I'm going to put the gasket on. I put blue Loctite on the bolts, and they're ready to go. And I'm going to put everything in there. Now remember, the Loctite takes 24 hours to fully seize up, to fully cure. So I wouldn't do your differential and then go for a 1,000-mile drive. I would let it sit overnight, and if you have to do any driving, use a different vehicle, or plan to do your differential when you don't have to do any driving for at least 12 hours. But I would let it sit for 24. All right. I'm gonna start putting everything back together again, and then we'll do the fill. Okay, so I got everything torqued up, and the torque settings for this one is 15 foot-pounds. And you go around in opposing bolts, just like you would do a wheel. You do one on the left and one directly across on the right, and then you go in a star pattern and you go around. And you go to 15 foot-pounds all the way around, and then you do a 20-degree sweep after that. So let's say you have your torque wrench straight down, go 20 degrees further. So that brings you to about 20 foot-pounds for me looking at the settings on here. So you 15 all the way around, and then a 20-degree sweep across all the bolts, bringing you roughly to about 20 foot-pounds. Now the next thing, we're going to fill it up, and like I was telling you, so you cut the top of these. These are the squeeze bottles, and then you get yourself a piece of fuel line or heater hose. This is fuel line, and this is 5/16 or 3/8, whatever's going to fit on here and not pop off. because gear oil is very slippery. So you want this to make a good seal, and then you want to be able to squeeze the fluid down into your differential. And I'm going to do that right now. All right, so the service is finished. We've got it all torqued up. There's no leaks. You can see there's no leaks underneath. Good to go. Like I said, it was 15 foot-pounds all the way around. Opposing bolts, just like you would do a wheel on a vehicle. And then a 20-degree sweep on all the bolts after you get to 15 foot-pounds. That brings you to about 20 foot-pounds all the way around. You put, hold on, let me get under there. You put 2.6 quarts in the SU7. 2.6 quarts. That's what I have in here. This, like I said, this is a 3/8 ratchet. Just put the ratchet in there and tighten it up, and then that's everything. You should be good to go. Come down off your ramps. Make sure you get your blocks out of the way, and I'm just going to show you the oil that I had in there. So you can see it's pretty. It's not terrible, but it's pretty dark. So this is 34,000 miles. You're supposed to do it at 30. So I was a little bit over. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the like button. Mike Machines out.